I don't really know how I feel. I feel a lot of things, so.
28-year-old Maymona Abdi was too shaken to answer questions. So she read a statement saying it was media coverage that pressured Somaliland officials to finally let them go.
We waited for statements from MPs and ministers of government that never came.
Abdi had gone to Somaliland alone to fight for women's rights. Instead, she and friend Karima Watts spent more than 2 months in prison. In a recorded phone conversation with advocates working to free the pair, Abdi described her mental state.
I'm nervous all the time. I have anxiety, I'm depressed. I'm being held in here even though I did nothing.
The women were arrested for allegedly consuming alcohol, which is forbidden in Somaliland. But advocates say Abdi was targeted for her work to stop forced marriages.
It was the police saying, you're interfering. You're interfering in the affairs between husbands and wives. So we're going to silence you. And that's when the nightmare began.
They went there on their own volition. They weren't affiliated with any NGO. There is a travel warning in place from Canada. Some people would look at this and say the government doesn't have to intervene.
If we're going to honor and celebrate the idea of grassroots solidarity and cooperation, this is what it looks like.
Canada does try to do what it can, but this lawyer says people shouldn't depend on the government to save them. That's especially true in a place like Somaliland, where Canada has no diplomatic presence.
The regime tends to be very authoritarian. There's no rule of law and there's massive corruption. So it's a high-risk scenario for any Canadian.
Global Affairs Canada isn't commenting today. The women are happy to be home, but they aren't happy about having to repay the government $5,000 for the flight. Experts say that's standard practice, though, and the price you pay for a safe trip home. Natalie Nanowski, CBC News, Toronto.